Then it came time for another tour of duty, and this time to faraway Iran in the Middle East. Preparation for the new posting involved renting our house in Washington and preparing a wardrobe. Why was this important? Hard to believe, but the wife of Gordon's predecessor in the Tehran job called and asked me if she could come and look in my closet. I was somewhat taken aback, but I got the point. The social scene in Tehran was very formal. Evening clothes were absolutely necessary. Nothing like a challenge. I loaded up with a few long dresses, as well as a group of books from the Foreign Service Institute to help me learn Farsi, a far higher priority. While the ancient culture and very modern people in Iran presented many challenges and joys, the most exciting part for me was the chance to start and run a company to help arriving business people from everywhere in the world understand and learn to function in this very mysterious culture. Imagine arriving in a new city without a telephone book, with nobody who speaks your language, employees to relocate, etc., etc. That's what I determined to help with, and it was a stellar success. I worked hard to learn Farsi. Iranians seemed genuinely pleased when foreigners tried. I used my Farsi in one instance when a rude woman in a shop pushed past me in line, as they absolutely always did. I tapped her on her chador, where I assumed her shoulder was, and said, "No bate manast." She looked surprised and stepped aside. I had informed her it was my turn. We had enormous pleasure from one of Iran's great crafts, Persian rugs. We went to the rug street almost every Friday, the Sabbath, but most of the dealers were Jewish, and they showed their stock with their windows covered with paper. The enormous Tehran Bazaar provided many hours of people watching and shopping. Persian food was another delight and continues to be to this day. Travels within the country took us back to the ancient culture of Cyrus the Great and the remarkable ruins of Persepolis. There were many adventures, but you'll have to read the book for the details. The interesting and welcoming people who became friends were an important component of our 4.5 years in Iran. We were constantly invited to elegant dinner parties with piles of caviar and delicious food. Yet there was a tenseness in the atmosphere, and guests who came to our home always checked the light fixtures for bugs because suspicion was rampant. Savak, the secret police, seemed to be pervasive. Trouble was brewing. The time came for us to return to the United States with sadness and some relief because the revolution was beginning to boil. My business dissolved as foreign business came to a halt. The hostage crisis included some of Gordon's colleagues and friends. Back in Washington, I concentrated on work and school. I obtained an MBA degree and, more promising, the certification to become an investment broker, in acquiring a new vocabulary and new expertise. I worked with a Wall Street firm for 10 years, really feeling that I helped people, especially women, and families connected to the State Department, emphatically not what we now know as the 1%. Reflecting on the events of the second third of my life, I have only gratitude and not a single regret for the unorthodox choices we made. The family concurs. I thank you for the chance to share with you, and I hope you enjoy the detailed account in the pages of A Third of a Life.